gonna try not to trip on the way over. We having a good day so far? Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Have you guys had a chance to go to the vendor hall at all? Meet anybody yet so far today? Anybody get a tattoo yet? Not yet. Okay, cool. All right, so we're about to get this panel underway. If you guys have questions, start thinking about your questions now, because we will call on you guys for whatever questions you all may have. But it is my absolute privilege to bring to the Spooky Empire stage the one and only Emily Perkins! One more time, though, she makes her way to the stage. Is this your first Spooky Empire?
Yes. First, yeah. I'm surprised at how huge it is. Yeah. Awesome. It's great. Yeah.
Are you going to have time this weekend to get to explore any of Orlando?
I don't think so. I was hoping that I would this morning, but unfortunately my flight yesterday was canceled, so then I didn't end up arriving until 5 a.m.
Oh, goodness.
And then I was sleeping through the morning, so yeah, didn't really get a chance to do that, but next time.
Yeah, of course. Well, welcome to Spooky Empire. We're so excited to have you here. Out of curiosity, did you grow up watching horror movies, or was like being part of it kind of your initial exposure to the horror genre?
It wasn't my first exposure. I think I had seen a movie called The House on Sorority Row, which like terrified me when I was, I don't know, like really young, like 6 or something. And and my aunt was a huge Stephen King fan, so she showed me a few different Stephen King movies. Like I had seen Carrie and The Shining and Children of the Corn before we made it. Yeah.
Did you see that they have Christine like hanging out over kind of by? Is it over by the?
No, I haven't seen it.
By the Celebrity Row. Yeah, the Christine is here too.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about getting to come to these conventions?
Just like connecting with people, I think, who made a connection with the characters that I've played. Because I think, like, I don't know, the acting is a form of like communication where you want to, I don't know, it's ultimately about telling a story that you hope other people will. It'll inspire them in some way, or they'll see themselves in that character, because the world is a pretty lonely place, and so it's nice to feel like you see, like I tend to play more kind of like outsider characters, or a little bit characters who are a little bit lonely, and so I think that it's nice to feel like people appreciate that or see themselves in those characters a little bit.
And speaking of like connecting with characters, when you first read the script for Ginger Snaps, did you immediately connect with the role of Bee, or what was that like?
Well, I didn't get to, like, at first I just saw a couple of scenes from it, and they ended up being rewritten, but I was really confused. I thought it was like soft porn or something. It was like Bridget and Ginger were just like all over each other and like piercing each other's bodies and stuff. I was like, what is going on here? Because there was no context. And it was also like in Canada, it was funded by the government. So there was a lot of controversy about it. Like, people had written into the newspaper saying we shouldn't be funding this kind of trash with taxpayer dollars, and this is going to cause like another Columbine to happen in Canada. Like, people were just freaking out about it. But when I actually read the script, then I definitely was like, oh no, this is actually a very like meaningful story. It's character driven, and it has like a lot of substance, and from a feminist perspective, it's definitely something that's worth participating in. So yeah,
I hope Canada changed their tone after actually like getting to
yes.
see this. How interesting. What was it like seeing like the actual werewolf on set for the first time? What was that experience like?
I love the special effects like side of things, and getting to do like all the makeup and see sort of how like the guy in the suit like operates the costume and that kind of stuff. Like, I find all of that really fascinating. So yeah, I love that part of it. I like the old-fashioned special effects are the best. Yeah.
Do you believe in cryptids?
I don't know. Anything's possible. You know, the older I get, the more I realize I don't know anything about reality. It's all so confusing. My older son is he's studying physics now at university, and the things that he says to me, I just realize that I am stupid. He comes home and he asks me these crazy problems. What do you think would happen if I have no idea? Yeah.
What is your process for finding the realism in a script that deals with supernatural elements?
Well, I mean, I think if it's a well-written script, then it's pretty easy to identify with the characters, right? So, I mean, I think for me it was odd. I was a women's studies student, so it was really obvious to me what the metaphors were in Ginger Snaps, for example. So the male gaze is projecting sexuality onto women and constructing women as monstrous. So that was kind of the way that I saw it. So the supernatural is just a way of conveying a truth that would be hard to express otherwise. Yeah.
And you mentioned, obviously this has become a movie that's almost a lot of the elements deal with feminism. And when you guys were making this film, did you realize that it would stand for that so much, especially now?
I don't know. I think I hoped so, but because of all the controversy, I thought, I don't think people are really going to get what this is about. But it's really about it's a coming of age story told from the female perspective. So I was a little anxious that people would misinterpret it, but I think for the most part, it was very well received. It went beyond my expectation for sure in terms of the audience that it ended up accumulating when it went to video, and yeah, it became a little bit of a cult hit.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And when you initially made the first one, did you know that there was going to possibly be a sequel and a prequel?
Oh no, for sure not. No, they're just such little, low-budget movies. Not the kind of movies that usually get sequels. So I was pleasantly surprised.
And were you excited in the second one to get to see your ultimate transformation? Because that was
absolutely
wild.
Yes. I love doing the whole the prosthetic makeup and everything. It took 5 hours to put the werewolf makeup on. In the final stages of the transformation, so I had to be there before everybody else, and it took an hour to get it off at the end of the day too, because they won't let you, and you're just begging at that point, please let me go home and sleep in it, I'm so tired, and they're no, you will get a rash, and they have to carefully, painstakingly use solvents to remove all the glue properly, yeah, it's incredible to just look in the mirror and see yourself as something totally other, right? For me, that's what acting, I'm an introvert, and so for me, acting is all about getting to hide in the character, getting to be something different than what I am, although there's elements that I connect to personally for sure in all the characters that I play, but it's just to me, the ultimate acting experience to just walk past a mirror and be who is that? Kind of catch yourself by surprise. So yeah, I loved that, getting to be the monster and having that ultimate transformation.
Did you have a favorite moment of the transformation, whether it was just the little ears sticking out, or before we see you go?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I had a favorite moment, but I the slow progression just felt very real to me in terms of the experience of adolescence and just growing up and having to figure out you have this adult body now and hormonal changes and all that stuff. To me, that just the gradual step by step. Oh my God, a new horror today. Oh, what fresh hell is this? Yeah.
You and Catherine had this beautiful and what really seemed like authentic sisterhood. What was your relationship like off screen as well?
Well, we actually knew each other from like our elementary school days, because it was almost like we were born under the same star or something, because we went to a bunch of different schools together, but all in totally different parts of the city of Vancouver. So it was just this coincidence, and we're 5 years apart in age, but she was always like the other girl who did acting. So, and then we had the same agent as well, so we would sometimes like see each other at auditions, and yeah, we were born in the same hospital, and we just, I don't know, so yeah, it just seemed like it was really fated.
Like it was meant to be, for sure.
Yeah, and then we got to play sisters again in another Cinderella story, which was really fun. Yeah, totally different genre, but
That's so cool. So if it's okay with you, if you guys have any questions, now is your opportunity. Anyone have anything they want to ask? Anything? You can just yell it out. That's totally fine too. Or we'll keep chatting all day, guys. But
yeah.
Yeah.
What was production length like on Ginger Snaps? Was it one big block? Were there any pickups?
Yeah, it was just like a month. It was a month of just straight shooting long days. And I'm sure they had to go back and reshoot a few things, but they didn't have the budget to do much.
How did they handle your prosthetics days? If you're, taking 5 to get in and 1 to get out, that's 6 of a, I'm assuming this was made in Canada, so is that not SAG? And it would be a low budget film, so it's like, were there any regulations about like how many hours you could work once you did makeup?
Yeah, we broke a lot of regulations. It's not SAG, but like, I don't know. I was really into it. Like, I wasn't complaining. I was exhausted, but like, I wanted to do it. Like, I would have wanted to do it if I wasn't even getting paid. Like, for me, it was just like a joy. So, yeah. I think it's pretty common on low budget movies to just like shirk the rules a little bit. You just kind of have to, otherwise you just know that you're not going to get the same quality of product at the end of the day. So, yeah.
It's interesting, like, thinking about something like that. Like, what would this movie have looked like with a bigger budget? I mean, I think it was just perfect for exactly what it was, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's of course a certain sort of charm and authenticity that comes with having a lower budget. And yeah, a lot of my favorites are always, like, that's what I'm drawn to. I want to see something that's just obscure and just feels real, instead of like the big shiny Hollywood production. Like, it's just not interesting to me, and I think for a lot of other people as well. So yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Being from Canada and doing a lot of filming in Canada, do you think filming different projects like Ginger Snaps, like Supernatural in Vermont, not being in Hollywood, do you think that brings a specific charm to a lot of different productions you've worked on? And what's your favorite thing about filming in Vermont or Canada as a whole?
In Canada.
Vancouver.
In Vancouver. Yeah. I think it's very different for sure. Just the whole atmosphere on set is different, like with the Canadian crew. Like on the bigger kind of higher budget shows that I've been on, it's so hierarchical, and like Hollywood just is very hierarchical, and people are just all about like ego, and people are mean. And like, I remember as a teenager going down and auditioning for stuff in LA, and just like the casting directors were just such bitches. Like, it was horrible, and it kind of transfers onto set, and I remember like having friends from acting going down to LA, and then they would come back and they would speak differently. They would just have this like very affected manner. And yeah, so I think in Vancouver we kind of escape a little bit of that. Yeah, on set for sure. Like, it's if you sit in the wrong chair, it's fine. Like, no one cares. But on a big Hollywood production, like, you better be careful that you don't sit in someone's chair, like someone else's chair. It's I don't know. It's awkward.
Did you have any favorite memories of working with Tim Curry on it?
Well, Tim is very much a method actor, and so he did not want the kids to feel too familiar and comfortable with him, because he wanted a little bit of the fear to translate onto screen. So he would just sit in his cast chair, chain smoking, and when the kids would walk past, he would just be like, "Grr." And I remember doing that with all his teeth in, and just being kind of, yeah, a little intimidated. And I think it worked. Like I never felt like, I don't know, like he was someone that I could go up and chat to, and that's probably a good thing. Yeah.
Do you remember like seeing him as Pennywise for the first time? Did that have a reaction with you?
I don't know. I don't actually remember I don't remember the first time I saw him. It might have been, it was just him like hanging out in his cast chair and in the clown makeup.
Was it the right chair though? We have to make sure.
Yes, yeah, right. It's the right chair. Well, Tim can sit in anybody's chair, I'm sure. Yeah.
What was it like for you, like finding out that you were going to be part of a Stephen King adaptation?
It was, I don't know, kind of surreal. Like, because I knew that my aunt was like a big fan, and I knew that Stephen King's like super famous, and a lot of friends said, "Wow, that's really good that you got that job. Like, I auditioned for that," and so yeah, I was like pretty like pumped and a little bit nervous because most of the actors were from LA or the States, and I was like, I'm just like the local girl, because they had to hire a few Canadians, like they make them do that, it's the rules. So I was like, maybe they wouldn't have hired me if they didn't have to, kind of thing. So I had a little bit of self-doubt, which of course would be normal. For a 13-year-old girl, is a little bit like, it's like a bit of an insecure age. But yeah, it was a great feeling to get to be part of something like that. Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of being 13, and I mean, it's it's a crazy movie. What was the most like emotionally draining scene that you had to film?
I think, there's like the character is like suffers abuse from her dad, and I mean it was a little bit of a heavy role in that way. In terms of like the horror though, like it didn't affect me at the time, because there's always like 60 people's crew members standing around like touching up your hair and makeup and stuff, so you don't really feel afraid of like the blood coming out of the sink or anything. But then after we stopped filming a few months later, it kind of like filtered through my subconscious, and then I just was terrified to like use the bathroom. I was like leaving the door open. I didn't want to take a shower. And, yeah, so it's interesting how the mind works like that. It was kind of like a delayed reaction.
As you were filming this, like you said, there's people around, there's people there to guide you, directors, and then after watching it back, that is, wow.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite moment with like special effects or anything that stood out, freaked you out?
I think just like the rudimentary nature of like filming on a low budget is delightful. Like, so in the scene with the sink and the balloon coming out of the sink, there was just like a guy under the sink with a straw, like blowing into the balloon, trying to inflate it. Like, it feels like it's like a bunch of friends that got together to just like try and make this movie. You know, there's nothing fancy at all. And we had to like do it over and over again because they couldn't get the air was leaking out, of course, because it's like a straw taped to a balloon. So the air is leaking out, and they couldn't make it go big enough. And but it's just like, that kind of thing was just like a lot of fun, and just makes it a really special memory.
I can't wait to go back and not think about the balloon guy, but there's a guy under there.
Yeah, the props guy. Poor props guy. He was like, all the pressure was on him. He's like, I'm trying.
I mean, like, a lot of times they're like the unsung heroes of the, people
Absolutely.
talk about like all the behind the scenes people.
Oh,
like,
yes,
props
for
to the
sure.
balloon guy. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I
yeah.
love it so much. Okay, is there a horror trope in general that you maybe secretly love, or one that you secretly hate?
I kind of, in terms of, trope. Well, I love, like, I would say like aliens are kind of my favorite villain, just because I love the metaphor of the colonizer, and I just feel like it's so it's so like relevant to our times with like continued imperialism on behalf of some countries. I won't mention those, but yeah, like it's just, I find that to be really interesting. Like every time there's like an alien in here, it's like it's reinvented. I find something there to like, I don't know, to think about, which is nice.
Is there an alien movie that stands out to you? I know it's so hard to pick a favorite, so I try not to ask a favorite, but is there one that?
Well, I love the original Alien movie, and yeah, and the second one, third one too, yeah.
It's really great.
Mhm.
And a really incredible, I mean, Final Girl, right? Oh yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes.
So when you found out that they were remaking it, what was kind of your reaction and your thought process with that? Me personally, I'm just a huge fan of the original.
I don't know, I wasn't really surprised, because I know that like Stephen King is just, he's never faded in his popularity, and so I thought, well, that's probably a good idea, because I think people will want to watch it, and of course, because the original was like, it was a made-for-TV movie with a low budget, like I thought, wow, they could probably do a lot. I was curious to see what they would do with like CGI and special effects in modern times. Yeah, so I thought, yeah, I wasn't surprised, but I was curious.
Thank you. Great question.
Any other questions? Yes.
How was it working with Jensen and Jared on Supernatural?
Oh, it was amazing. I was a little bit trepidatious at first because I thought that they might be dismissive toward me as like a representative of their fans. I thought that they might just not really want to talk to me or just be like, yeah, you're not cool. But they have a tremendous amount of respect for their fans, and they, like when I went on set, like they both came to meet me and they're like, hey, we're so happy you're here, like we love this character and we love our fans, and let us take you on a tour of the studio. And so they wanted to show me like all the fan art and gifts that had been sent in and was like covered the halls, like, you know, like a beautiful quilt someone had made with like all the episodes being a different square, and like just so much incredible art and creativity, imagination. And it was something that they were so proud of. And yeah, I kind of just assumed that guys who are that good looking must be assholes, but they really weren't. Yeah, smart guys too.
What did the vibe feel like on the Supernatural set?
Part of the vibe. Very, very fun. Like very comic. The guys are just like always joking, and it's very much like a family kind of feeling, because that crew had worked together for so many years, and so they're just like a well-oiled machine, and they just everything was just like seamless, and it was a really easy set to walk onto, and yeah, it was really good. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Here, and then we'll go there. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you prefer to do like movies or TV series? Which one is the best for you?
Well, I think working on a movie is really cool, because you're like, especially if you have like a larger role where the character has some kind of arc, it's more interesting creatively, and it's a contained story, you know, with a beginning, middle, and end. So I think creatively it's kind of more interesting, but working on a series is nice too, because you do have that kind of family feeling, like you feel, you get a certain level of comfort with your character and with the crew. That because you're working together long term, you don't really have that like on a movie set as much.
Do you have any fun memories of working with Jonathan Brandis that you'd be down to share?
I just had like a really big crush on him, and I made the mistake of telling Brandon, who played Ben, who then told him, of course. And then he came up to me, he's like, so Brandon says you have a crush on me. And I just like was like, no. What? Brandon. Yeah, that was very awkward. But yeah, he was just a super sweet kid. Yeah, I did have very fond memories of him, for sure.
Anyone else? And there's some good. So we'll keep chatting, guys. Or if you guys think of anything else, just yell it out, let us know. Okay, so we were talking about, being 13 and doing it, and then acting, as you're getting older, did you find ways to decompress after filming like emotional scenes, or was it always something after the fact?
I think for me it was more like a catharsis, so just like being able to express like the darker side of emotions that you might not necessarily get to express in your everyday ordinary life. So it always felt like a bit of a release for me versus something that I would have to decompress from. I think for me that was like the decompression. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite werewolf movie outside of Ginger Snaps?
That's a really good question. I really like Dog Soldiers. That's funny. What else? Yeah, I'm not really sure.
David Naughton is here this week. Yeah, hey, go ahead.
If Ginger Snaps were to be remade like next year per se, would you like it to be a new set of younger women, or would you like to have like a follow-up of Bridget and what happens to her after like the second film?
I think it would only work if you had like a younger set of characters and then maybe the occasional scene of like what happened to the older generation. But yeah, it would be amazing if they did something like that. Every once in a while I hear that they're like in talks to make this happen, but then it never seems to really happen. But yeah, I think you definitely need, just to like maintain that central metaphor of the coming of age and the going through puberty and that metaphor of the werewolf, yeah.
So obviously, like Ginger Snaps was before we had Spotify, but what songs or what artists do you think Bridget would be listening to?
I remember listening to Cat Power. She had this werewolf song that I loved, and I would always I would listen to that in my room when we were filming like the second and third ones.
Were there like different songs that you would listen to like for different characters that you played?
That's a really good question. I think maybe just Ginger Snaps that was true for. I remember everyone was listening, like on set, we were all listening to like Massive Attack and stuff. It was like very like atmospheric. But yeah, not really for other characters, which is interesting. Maybe more for like a horror kind of genre versus like a comedy. Yeah.
Are there any like maybe moments in the movie that you think didn't get enough attention, like whether in any of the three movies that you're like, I wish that this scene, people really would reevaluate this scene?
No. Not really. I always feel like people have to just make what they will of things. I mean, at the end of the day, there's really no objective truth to like some kind of artistic creation. It's really up to people to make their own meaning from it. So, yeah.
Did people ever break on set? Like, was it easy kind of staying in characters, or did people break a little bit?
Well, like when we were filming it, Seth Green, he's very funny. Like he was constantly making everyone just to start giggling, like no matter how like dramatic the moment was. Like I remember this one time when the police officer comes and he's like standing on a bridge and like we're playing in the Barrens and he's like, hey, have you guys seen, what's her name? They're looking for the missing girl. Oh my gosh, Velma Daniels or something, I think. Have you seen her? Like, just be careful. And he goes, hey, what are you kids doing down there? And Seth Green goes, we're masturbating. And like in the like that was like typical of him. So then with like cut, Seth, please, like, and then we have to go again, right? And you don't have like that much time on a low budget movie, so we can't be doing that too often, or you're going to destroy the production. But yeah, that would happen quite
Any other questions? We got a couple minutes left if anyone has any final questions. No? Anybody? Oh, what was the first horror movie that you remember losing sleep over?
Those ones that I mentioned earlier, like The House on Sorority Row, Shining, really scared me, and Children of the Corn. Yep, those ones. Yeah.
Well, before we release, oh yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, when you were cast in it, what was your relationship with the book? I guess? Like, at what point did you read it after you filmed it? Did you read parts of it beforehand, during?
So I didn't read it beforehand. However, there was one day that all the boys were like kind of giggling, and they're like, "Emily, come into the trailer. We got to tell you something." And I was like, "Okay." So I went into one of their trailers, and they're all gathered and they're looking at me very intensely. They're like, "Emily, have you read the book?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Well, you have to have sex with all of us." And I was just like horrified. So like I ran out of the trailer and I like went to my mom and I was like, "Mom, you have to get me the book so I can read the book so I know what the boys are gonna say next." So yeah, in this day and age, it probably would have been like a huge deal, like would have been made of that, like, "Oh, that's sexual harassment or something." But back then it was just like, this is how we just learned about life. Like, people just teased you about something, and yeah.
Any final questions? Cool. Any thoughts you want to leave us with here on this Spooky Empire Halloween weekend?
I just want to say thank you so much for listening, and it's really nice. It's just like so rewarding for me to be able to talk about those experiences from, it was such a long time ago now. It's like amazing to be able to still like connect with people. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here and for listening. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.